Making headlines tonight, the government of Barbados officially reverses its decision to rename Independence Day Barbados National Day. Barbados starts its cruise season with about 3,500 passengers on 2 megaships. And the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts is back with some upgrades. Details up next.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good night, I'm Shane Seeley. Thank you for joining us. The government of Barbados has officially reversed its decision to rename Independence Day Barbados National Day. News of this from Home Affairs and Information Minister Wilfred Abrams. This comes after 2 days of public outcry and an online petition that garnered thousands of signatures.
Yesterday, I promised you that I would take this matter back to Cabinet for review. Today, the Cabinet of Barbados met, reviewed, and agreed that November 30th will continue to be referred to as Independence Day. There will also be a national consultation to come up with the most fitting way to celebrate our transition to a parliamentary republic.
Minister Abrams says the administration remains committed to consulting with Barbadians.
We came to office as the government that cares, consults, and listens. Over the past 48 hours, we have listened to Barbadians, and upon reflection, we agree that more public engagement is necessary to come up with the best way to celebrate our transition to a parliamentary republic. This cabinet commits to a wider public engagement on matters of national importance such as this.
Now, the online petition was launched by the Democratic Labour Party. It received close to 7,000 signatures. DLP President Ronnie Yearwood says the response is an indication of how Barbadians feel about the issue. He's called today's cabinet decision a victory for democracy. The party held a press conference at its headquarters yesterday, where Dr. Yearwood stressed the celebration of independence was too important to Barbadians.
We recognize that independence is pivotal to us. We all have those memories of independence, drawing the flags, preparing the songs, doing the costumes at school. This is something that we cannot simply set aside for a Republic Day.
In other news on Newsnight, Barbados today saw the first signs of the projected bumper cruise tourism season. This as the Bridgetown port welcomed 2 megaships this morning with more than 3,000 passengers on board. It was a warm welcome for some familiar megaships coming into the Bridgetown port. The Ida Perla is back. It's one of the cruise liners which Barbados aided during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it brought in some 2,500 passengers. Meanwhile, 1,000 visitors came aboard the Celebrity Millennium. The combined total of about 3,500 passengers meant some good business for tour and taxi operators. It's a promising start to the 2022-2023 cruise tourism season, and most taxi operators are optimistic the next few months will live up to projections of pre-pandemic numbers.
After COVID, 2 years, we're hoping that the people come to Barbados and really spend some money, not just come, but that the normal taxi drivers could get some money in the pockets, and everybody will cooperate, and things will happen. That's all we are. So for me, I hopefully think that it should be a bumper season.
The majority of guys that works in the Bridgetown port, we like to depend mainly on a lot of Puerto Ricans. And we ain't got much Puerto Ricans coming into Barbados due to the fact that the Carnival lines are not really traveling here this year, unfortunately for all of the guys that in the harbour. But I'm hoping that something pick up that slack in terms of the persons from Puerto Rico.
I'm glad to see the tourists coming back into Barbados and the mass release so that everybody can get a piece of the pie. I hope we get a good season this year, because for the last couple of years it was downwind out, so hope the best.
Now, one ship is expected to berth at the port tomorrow, and the itinerary looks packed going into Christmas. The chairman of the Barbados Broadcasting Authority and director of the National Transformation Initiative, Dr. Alison Leacock, has received an international award. Dr. Leacock, who is presently chairing the International Institute of Communications Small Nations Regulators Forum for an unprecedented 2 years, was presented with the award by the IIC's President Chris Chapman and Director General Lynn Robinson during its conference in Ottawa, Canada this morning. The IIC exists to inform and shape the global policy agenda for the ICT and digital ecosystem. Congratulations goes out to Dr. Leacock. Well, coming up on Newsnight, a look at the new look NIFA this time around. NIFA has a new look for 2022 after 2 years on the back burner because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The National Independence Festival for Creative Arts is back with some upgrades. This year's edition of the festival will feature a series of activities in a hybrid format, both digital and face-to-face. Shane Jones was at Queen's Park House for the launch. He tells us those are not the only changes.
That's just a snippet of the new NIFA jingle, written by Mahalia Cummings, produced by Darian Bailey, and featuring the vocals of Shantae Allen Clark, Mahalia, Sunrock, Shadia Marshall, and Jabari Brown. NCF Chairman Dr. Jasmine Babb says, after being driven apart by the COVID-19 pandemic, art will unite us.
Art brings us together as a people. These past few years, artists have been forced to utilize innovative technologies to continue to create, to reach, and to touch people. And I continue to be impressed by the artistic talent that surrounds us right here on this island. The arts and culture play an essential role in our community, and it is important that NIFA is an inclusive event, accessible to all and enjoyed by everyone.
The calendar of events starts this Friday and will include activities in dance, music, theater, literary, visual, and culinary arts, as well as film video. NCF CEO Carol Roberts-Reefer says NIFA music will take the form of a series of concerts over 4 Fridays entitled NIFA in the Square. It starts on Friday.
A select number of schools and community groups will be featured on stage in Golden Square. All materials presented will be featured in a local idiom, and participating schools are being encouraged to work with each other towards creating a synergy for the redevelopment of performance skills in a post-COVID environment. The creative community will also be encouraged to sharpen their songwriting and music composition skills by signing up for the free classes offered on the NCF training site. And this is in an effort to improve such skills in our musical community.
During her address, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight, noted the growth and sustainability of NIFA must become more apparent as Barbados seeks to carve out a new national identity as a republic.
NIFA encourages creatives to use all the tools available in order to continue to tell the story of who we are and what makes us unique as Barbadian people. The festival provides a massive platform for persons in different art forms to showcase their skills, express themselves, and share in a community of like-minded individuals. Work displayed at the festival continues to highlight social, economic, and environmental issues in a form that can be easily digested by the audiences that attend. The goal to preserve our cultural heritage and expression goes hand in hand with efforts to continually build out community programs that are engaging in all disciplines.
NIFA 2022 ends on the 27th of November. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley will this evening be awarded the United Nations Foundation Champion for Global Change Award in New York. Among some of the previous awardees were Kofi Annan, Barack Obama, Desmond Tutu, with previous honorees including government and world leaders, human rights champions, artists and activists, corporate leaders and innovators. The We the People's Awards is an opportunity to hear from the world's leading change makers, connect with the United Nations, and explore the frontiers of global impact. The awards support the UN Foundation's work to accelerate the Sustainable Development Goals, raise climate ambition, and reimagine multilateral cooperation for a better and fairer future. Congrats to the Prime Minister as well. The newly appointed prefects of St. Christopher Primary School got a special treat when Member of Parliament for the area and Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams joined them for their pinning ceremony today at the Christ Church Institution. Shane Jones has that story.
Parents and students gathered in the school hall to share in the special moment for the new prefects. There were loud cheers as each pupil received their badge, but the loudest applause was reserved for head girl Shalana and head boy Josiah. Constituency Representative Wilfred Abrams engaged the students, and some had the opportunity to ask him questions. And they weren't shy with them.
What did you do when you were bad?
During his address, the Home Affairs Minister told the new prefects their selection was about trust.
The principal, the teachers, the persons who come at the school have been saying that we trust you. We trust you to set a good example. We trust you to be persons that others can talk to. We trust you to look out for the young ones. We trust you to be respectful. We trust you to be respected.
The minister impressed on the students that they must work to maintain the respect they have earned.
Every day you come to school, you must be dressed properly. Every day you come to school, if you're given work to do, you must sit down and attend to your work that other people looking at you can say, I want to be like him or her. If you're playing sports, you need to be fair in how you play sports. In your general conduct, you need to be disciplined. Everybody else should look up to you and you should earn that respect.
28 students received prefect badges. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Tonight's business report is sponsored by Digicel Business. Better solutions for better businesses.
The Minister of State in Foreign Trade and Business, Sandra Husbands, believes Barbados can play a part in the energy transition taking place globally. She's optimistic about the country's prospects in light of recent gas finds by Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana's oil discoveries.
Barbados has had some data that we had gathered about the potential for hydrocarbons in Barbados because we are part of the ring with Guyana and Suriname that recently found big finds in oil. There was a recent big find in gas just off Trinidad, and we all share maritime boundaries. So a data set that we had received a few years ago had indicated that Barbados had about 33 TCFs, and we think that that is exciting. A second data set is being developed, this now in the 3D area, and we are hoping that there will be very promising results coming from that.
Minister Husbands there in the United Arab Emirates, where she is attending the Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, ADIPEC, one of the world's largest oil, gas and energy exhibitions. She has shared the strides made by the island with its embrace of the new energy sector. Ms. Husbands says government understands it has to take the lead in creating the necessary policy framework and positions to foster the environment in which the transition can take place. Well, it's a golden handshake for 4 Caribbean women pursuing studies in the field of business or banking and finance at the University of the West Indies. CIBC First Caribbean announced the 4 new full scholarships in the name of retiring first female Chief Executive Officer Colette Delaney, who is also the immediate past president and past chairman of First Caribbean International Comtrust Foundation, the bank's charitable arm. In making the announcement, the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer Mark St. Hill said Delaney, his predecessor, was also a champion for women, girls and diversity at the bank.
She has also championed the cause and advancement for gender equality in the workplace and in the wider communities in which we serve. We see these scholarships as a fitting tribute to her.
CBC Sports Night is brought to you by MCTV for all your Premier League, UEFA, and NFL action. To upgrade or install, call MCTV at 228-6288 and get back in the game with MCTV.
Second half of sports now. Let's get the second half of sports now with Damien. Damien's back there in the sports studio. Some basketball in the mix.
Yeah, definitely, Shane. Harrison College secured a victory in the latest round of matches in the National Sports Council's Under-19 basketball competition. They traveled to Queens College to defeat the hosts 42-31. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke reports.
It was a ding-dong battle as Queens College hosted Harrison College in what was truly a competitive game. QC and the blue and white got things going in a big way when Zachary Haynes nailed it just inside the arc. But the college boys would immediately respond, Wesley Mosley single-handedly holding off the defense to make the basket. Actually, the Crumpton Street boys came to Husbands with a mission and at all costs meant they had to execute to win. All hands on deck, it was Aaron Weatherhead with the mop-up job on this play. They also kept the defense tight, so much so that the QC boys could only manage 2 baskets in the first quarter. This one being the second, and as you can see, they really had to fight for it. Haynes accounting for all the points at this stage. And so College ended the first 15 up 11-4. But the tables were turned as QC staged a fight back. Zane Gaskin goes for it and comes up good off the board. The defense tighten up as well. Here they go with the steal. It's headed back down court. Right there again with finishing duties, it's Gaskin. Actually, they totally shut out the college boys who managed a single basket this quarter. It was all QC with all players right in there to get the points on the board. Haynes goes up again and it's bagged. Talk about firing on all cylinders. Inside Tyler Ford to get his name on the score sheet as QC went into the half up 16-13. Into the second half and with strong support on the sidelines, the dominance continued. Here goes Ford, looking to go coast to coast, and he is effective. QC at it again. This time Gaskin finds Alex Marshall and 2 more is added to the score. But the college boys started to reorganize themselves. All hands on deck, passing it around. Until Jonathan McCollin decides it's time to go for it, charging through the D to get crucial points on the books. And if that was not enough, with the pressure applied, they get the steal. As Mackay McGarry just missing, to correct it was Mosley. We now have a game on our hands. As by the end of the third, QC were still the leaders, but College pulled it back to a 3-point game at 25-22. So the final 15 was crucial for both teams. Every basket mattered. Every steal could make the difference. And this was certainly one that QC needed. Nicely done. Sure enough, College would reply, coast to coast, that's Mosley again. Then this came. Mistakes at this stage are crucial, and you sure bet College will relish the free ball. McGarry, easy does it. College now in command. Being in the driver's seat felt so good, they just continued to put light between themselves and their opponents. QC still trying to keep in the game. We're really fighting hard. Ty Ward gets the basket. But the boys from Crumpton Street came to Husbands and conquered. At the final whistle, they took the game 42-31. Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
And that's where we wrap up things on this edition of CBC News Night. I'm Shane Seeley. Good night.
Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.